Hi there! Today I have some color reveal Barbie dolls for you. It is wave 16 and all of the girls are mermaids. I got 3 of the 4 girls that are available in the series, and the face molds that are used for this wave of color reveal dolls are Open Mouth Millie, the Fashionistas 160 mold, or aka the tennis player. That's of course not her name, but honestly I think most of the collectors that do collect Made to Move do already have this doll, and you also have seen her quite often on this channel. The other 2 modes are Millie, and the last one is Goddess. And here you do have every girl beside the Millie one. So I got 2 of these from Amazon, and after a little bit of research I was quite sure that I would have the tennis player and the Millie face. I decided to buy no other 2 because I hate to send things back, and I thought 2 would be enough of this series. Because honestly the only one that I really want is the Millie one. But then my grocery store had also these dolls for the same price. It was 15 euros, and I decided that I would also get the Goddess face. Here you can see the codes, and I would like to explain you how you always will find the doll you want even without a lot of research, at least when you can find them in stores. But in case you have seen one of my other color reveal videos, I'm quite sure this will be pretty boring because it is the same method all over again, so you can just skip this part, but I'm pretty sure that there are still a lot of collector or even gift givers who would like to find exactly the doll that's on the wish list. So here you can see the 2 first codes belong together. They are simply from the same production batch, and the first code you can see is 1704HF, and the next code is 1714HF. So if you read them as pure numbers, it is only a difference of 10. The first code has 04 in the end of the number, and the second one has 14. Since I bought these 2 tubes online, I was not able to compare the codes with the other tubes in the box, so I was not sure which dolls I would have, only that the 2 dolls that I have are the ones next to each other, so it could have been Millie and the tennis player, or the tennis player and Millie, or Millie and the Goddess, because Mattel always uses the same technique for their codes. Always. With every color reveal series that they did so far, they never changed it, but since I had no idea how the other codes would look like, I had to look it up, and I found the code for the tennis player face, and therefore I knew that the second one would be the Millie face. And as you can see here, the third tube does have a different batch code, or better said, a later one. It is 1794HF. And when you would go out from this code here, the last one, for this batch, the Millie face would have had the number 1784HF, and the tennis player would have had 1774HF. I know that sounds extremely easy, but Mattel does use one trick. This series, for example, does have 4 girls, but Mattel always counts for 7 dolls in a series. Here I already show you the dolls on the pamphlet or flyer, and here are also the codes for the batches. You can see here, first line is for the 2 Amazon tubes, and the second line would be for the tube that I found in my grocery store. So as you can see here, the number after the Goddess faces are always counting up. So there is no number 5 or 6 or 7 in the series, but still they count for these non-existing dolls. And the 8th code would be for a Millie doll, since the Goddess tube, I just call it like that, the Goddess tube, sounds really nice. So the doll with the Goddess face does have the number 1794HF, so the next one, the number 5 in the line, would have 1804. The next one would have 1814. Number 7, that does not exist, would have the number 1824HF. And the number 8, or better said, the number 1, because then we will enter the new code badge with the Millie, would have 1834HF. And then, of course, everything again, just 10 on top. You'll have the tennis player, then again the Millie, then the goddess, and then the dolls that does not exist, up to number 7, and then number 8, or the new number 1, will be again a Millie. The line does not have any secret doll, and also the code order always matches the order of the dolls on the pamphlet or on the flyer. The order in the picture is exactly the same as the code orders. I hope this is a little bit helpful and not totally confusing. I'm using this information or this method for a couple of years and I was never wrong. I mean, it was a little bit more challenging when they still had those secret dolls or rare dolls, but that's not the case anymore, and it is really very easy to find exactly the doll you want. And therefore, it is finally time to unpack or untube these 3 dolls. Sometimes it's a bit hard to see or to find out what the name of the series is, and as far as I know, the name of the series is Deep Sea, which is quite matching for mermaids, I guess. And the first girl here in the first tube will be the very pretty Asian girl that does have basically the same face as the tennis player. And here you have her. Honestly, I was hoping for either a non-pixelated face or non-resin printed screening, or at least nice hair, because that is typically the case with these dolls. They usually do have pretty hair or pretty faces. I do not say this girl does not have a pretty face. It is very pretty, but I wish it would not have the resin printing. And I'm also not a big fan of the polypropylene hair. But I also have to say, even poly hair comes in different grades, and I'm very surprised by that. But later more. Her hair colors are pretty. The main part of the hair is purple, and she does have 2 blue streaks. And on this series, only the hair will have a color change. You will see that also later. But there's nothing else that would color change on these dolls. And of course, every mermaid does come with the tail and some accessories, like the comb here. I do like the design. It does not really have a big usage to it, because honestly, how much brushing you can do with this kind of comb? But it looks pretty. I like the design. Next is this purple necklace. Here we do have the tail, and the fabric is very stiff. It feels very plasticky, which is understandable because these dolls are made for kids and they are water play toys, and therefore it makes sense. I'm not a huge fan of the hairband. It is a very stiff plastic material. It also looks a bit small for this very large head. I'm also not a big fan of the design of this piece, and I don't know. It is here. It's okay. She can wear it, but I'm not a big fan of this piece. Here you can see the pamphlet, and this is the number for the doll you see here on the pamphlet, and I have shown you before the picture with the 4 girls, and the next one will be the Millie face. And for this one, I'm really excited because, first of all, I really like the Millie face. It is one of my favorite face molds. And she will have green eyes. I'm a sucker for dolls with green eyes. And even when they are pixelated and resin printed, I really like the eye color. And I definitely do not have enough dolls with that eye color in my collection. And here she is, and I think she's so beautiful. I wish she would not have the resin screening. I wish she would have better hair, but she still is very pretty. I like the design. I love all the freckles on her face, and I truly love the eye color. It is such a great green color, so bright and of course very fantasy, but I really like her. Her comb is the same model as for the doll before, and it simply does have a different color. This is hot pink here. Not quite sure if I like this headband more than the previous one. Also not my favorite thing. It is also pretty small. I'm not quite sure if kids today really love this stuff or if it just, I don't know. I don't I just don't know. I think the design could be better. The necklace is cute. Of course it is fully plastic. It is not as dark pink as the comb. It's cute. I'm pretty sure that at some point I even could use it for a styling, so I'm quite happy with it. And here of course is her tail. The same material as for the previous girl. Very plasticky fabric. But as I said, it is a water play toy, I guess, and for that purpose, I guess it's the right choice, because it would dry up very fast. And the last girl will be a doll with the goddess face mold. And here you do have her. I think her screening is very cute. Of course, it is also just resin screening, and her hair is polypropylene. And I have to say, it's so much worse than the hair of the two other girls. This hair here is exactly the epitome of polypropylene hair. It is dry, it is stiff, the touch is horrible. And I'm very surprised by that, because the other two girls, they also have poly hair, but it feels a bit nicer. The ends are very dry, but the rest is okayish. It even has a relatively good swing to it. You will see it later on when I wash the hair and even give it a not hot boil rinse, but a very warm water rinse. And this hair here is terrible. It stays terrible. This is just not nice hair fiber. And even for kids, I don't know. I don't like it, and I don't understand why she got so bad hair in comparison to the other girls. And I think that is quite unfair, to be honest, but it is what it is. Here we do have her headband, and this is definitely an older model. I'm very sure that I have seen this piece before, even for mermaids, but it is pretty big. I don't know, I'm a bit surprised, because the other two headbands are very small. This one here is a bit too big. Yeah, I don't know. It is a pretty big and very blue piece. Same comb, this time also light blue. Of course, she also got a little and very cute necklace, I think. And for the tail, same material, but different shape. The edges of all the tails are heat sealed so that they cannot fray, and I overall think they look quite nice. I like the color shifting look that this fabric does have. The touch is simply not so great, but I'm an adult doll collector, so this item is clearly not made for me. But still, maybe it would be possible to do something that feels a bit nicer, also for kids of today. But I'm not sure, I don't know, maybe this is the best item that they could do for water resistance and especially for cleaning up the doll again. So I will not longer moan about it. The shapes are nice, the material is okay, and that's it. And here you do have them all together, and even in this picture I think you can see that the first two girls, the hair is not super bad, but the girl on the right, I don't know. I'm not sure why they don't like her so much. That's the feeling I get, but yeah. Now you can see how they look without all the silver painting. And since I do not have 3 arms, I decided to give them their spa session, one girl after the other, but just show them here all together so you can enjoy the color changing water, because I think that is a point that is so much fun for everyone, regardless if you're an adult collector or a child or something. I think the idea that they had with these color reveal dolls was very clever. The sparkling swirls look so nice. Removing the paint worked quite well on all of them. The water came out quite quickly. The paint did come off quite well. Of course, not every crease is completely clean. You will have to clean up those spaces later on. The only girl that does have some imperfections is the goddess. I don't know, her tape printing is even also different than the one from the others, but you will see that also in a few seconds. Here you do have the very pretty Asian girl with the same mold and nearly the same face screening like the tennis player. The necklace does not really want to stay on. I think the opening is simply too wide, so when a kid would like to play with it, it will be gone in a second. Other than that, she looks quite cute, I think. Color scheme is nice. I do like the print on the bathing suit or on the mermaid tail and bikini top or whatsoever. It does not look realistic, of course, and there's not so much detail going on. Like, for example, for the Rebody mermaids, they do have way more details on their tail and bust area, but still, this is a very cute doll. Next is the Millie face, and this girl here is very wild. Her pattern for the tail and the bust part is very striking because they are complementary colors. Personally, I really like the color combination. Not quite sure if I love the pattern, but I'm here for the head, honestly, and therefore it is not so important to me. And luckily, I know someone who will be happy with these bodies together with alternative heads to play with them in the bath tube. And the last girl is the goddess face, and you can see here she does have this weird white paint streak on her torso. It is also like a deep scratch, not sure what happened here. She's also the only one that does have missing paint patches all over her tail and bust piece. The colors are a little bit matted. They are not as shiny as for the other two girls. I'm very sure that every pattern is made with resin printing because you can see a little bit of the lines. It is well done. I have to say that I do like the resin printing for accessories and also on these kinds of doll parts. It makes sense because it is for kids and usually the paint does not come off so easily with that. But something went wrong with the goddess doll. The printing does not look so good, and in my opinion the quality control should have picked this one here out because you can only see it, but I can obviously also touch it, and the printing is also very rough. It is not as smooth as for the other two girls. So I don't know, maybe someone does not like the goddess face and was not happy that she's in the series because she got definitely worse hair than the others. And if that printing is like it is supposed to be, it is very bad. So I guess this is not how it should be, and I guess a child that would receive this doll here would be disappointed. And as I said, I would like to rebody these mermaids, and here you do have the color comparisons for potential body donators. At first, here is the Asian girl. She is very light skinned, but it is not quite the same shade like the tennis player. She is a bit more yellow, but she is not dark enough for the purple top made to move. The purple top is a bit darker. And here you have her together with her twin sister. The tennis player does have a slightly more pink undertone. So you could put this head on the purple top on the tennis player, but also on the tall BMR body that originally has the tango face on. This body is a bit more yellow in its undertone than the tennis player, so it would be in theory a little bit better for color matching. But honestly, when the head is on one of these bodies, regardless if it is the purple top, the tennis player, or the BMR one, it will look good on all of these. But from the thumbnail, you know that I used the Workbox 8202 for this girl. So far, she does not have her own one, but she will get one, because I think this face mold, or especially this face mold with this kind of screening, looks so good on this body. The body does have a pink blushing, and therefore the head looks a bit more yellow, but when you put the head beside the leg that is not blushed on this area, you can see that the color match is quite good. And of course you will see that even better when the actual head is on this body later on. Next is the girl with the Millie face. Sadly, she does not have a perfect skin tone match, but at least two that would work, but not the first one you can see here. The first girl here is on a yellow top yoga made to move body, and the body is too light and too yellow for the head. The other body here is the blue tie-dye made to move body. It also has the original head on. The body is darker, it still does have a more yellow undertone, but in my opinion it's doable. In person, the head is a little bit more yellow and a bit lighter than its original mermaid body. So in the end, I will go together with this body, the blue tie-dye, simply because it is an okay match and I do have a few of them. But Barbie Looks Doll 21 would be even a better skin color match, even though now the body is a bit darker than the head. But especially here on the footage it looks like it would be nearly a perfect match, but in person the head is a bit lighter than the Barbie Looks body. And even though her braids are in pretty bad condition right out of the box, she had these not so nice braids, I still don't wanna rip off her head, and therefore the pretty Billy with the pink hair will have to live with a body that is slightly lighter than her head. The next girl is the one with the goddess face mold, and her skin color is simply in the floral bun spectrum. Every doll that does have the floral bun skin tone would be a good or an okay match. All these bodies that are a little bit tan and yellowish could go together with this head. The BMR Mitch would be a perfect match for this head, but she does have red fingernails and I don't want to remove those, and therefore she needs to get a different body. And here you do have the Barbie Made to Move girl with the blue top. She does have a little bit more red in her undertone than the head or the BMR Mitch, but it is still doable for the set. Here you also can see the green tie-dye which does have way less yellow in its undertone, and that's definitely not a nice match for this head. And therefore she gets the body of the blue top girl. Now the girls will get some treatment for their hair, because I had hoped that the fiber gets a little bit more soft and nicer. But honestly, it did not work out so good. First of all, you can treat polypropylene with a decent hot boil rinse. That's definitely possible, and usually the hair gets a little bit softer. But I cannot use so hot water on these here because of their color change gimmick. And I don't know if it might be damaged with very hot water. I cleaned up the fiber a bit, and after this cleaning, they look a bit better, they touch a little bit better. Also, during the drying process, I realized that all of the three girls had different drying times. For example, the goddess was the one that dried immediately after I washed the hair, after she got the hot boil rinse, or hot boil. It was not hot boil, it was just hot water, hotter than you would like to put your hand in, but it was not boiling water. Her hair was dry in a few minutes. The next girl was the Millie one. Her hair got also pretty fast dry, but the hair of the Asian girl took a little bit longer. Not long enough that I really think it could be nylon, because usually there are differences. For example, in my experience, saran hair took the longest time to dry up completely. Nylon is also not so fast in drying up. It also takes a good couple of hours, but these girls here were dry in less than 1 hour. I guess the Asian girl was a bit longer in her drying process. Also, her curls or waves became a bit more straight because of the hot water. I'm not quite sure. Maybe they use a blend of material for these dolls. Maybe even poly hair is different in different hair colors. But honestly, they simply do feel differently. And you can see here that also the goddess face does have a not so nice movement to it when you wave the hair. But that's only my experience. Maybe yours is different. Maybe these girls also come from different factories, and yeah, I don't know. But honestly, the hair of the other two girls is simply a bit better. I mean, we still talk about polypropylene, so I don't know why I talk so much about it, but I really dislike the poly hair that they gave this goddess face. Anyways, as I already said, these girls do only have color change to the hair. You have seen it before. Here's the pamphlet or the flyer, and it is always shown on these what exactly would color change, and for this series it is only the hair, which is fine for me because I do like the rather clean faces, and at least the resin screening is pretty much saturated, because sometimes when you do see dolls with resin screening, the paint is even pixelated, not really good in color. There are a lot of white spots, and even sometimes you can see the printing lines. And I really hate that, because then you even don't have round pupils. They do have a kind of distortion to them, and I really do not like that. And when I went to the stores, most of the actual fashionistas do have this kind of printing. I can see the lines. As long as my eyes are good enough that I can see them with my bare eyes, I simply don't like that. And I hope that Mattel even gets better with the resin screening, because I guess we cannot stop them from using it, and I hope that at least it will look better over time. So the girls do have new bodies, now they need a good styling. And now it's time for the styling, and as you can see here, the pretty Asian girl from the thumbnail and also the girl that was opened at first is also the first girl that got a styling. She is on the workbox body, and the workbox body is a bit more complicated to find clothes for, but honestly when it is a dress with an A shape or a dress that does have quite a bit of stretch to the bottom of the dress, it often works quite well. This dress here is made for a standard Barbie. It does have a cotton material. It is one of these basic dresses that cost only around €2, so it is quite a nice fit. The seam is not so pulling, so I'm fine with it. And the jacket is a Blythe jacket, an oversized Blythe jacket. I've said it 100 times that these clothes often fit a lot of different dolls. The shoes are again rainbow high shoes, and she also got this little accessory belt from Mini Brand's Fashion. I gave her a golden necklace, and of course the little mini Barbie Land Color Reveal tube. Next is my favorite for today, the Millie face. She is wearing a pretty casual outfit that still works together with her very pinkish and very cute hair, I think. The fluffy jacket does have some silver accents, and therefore I decided to turn around the Mini Brand's Fashion bag because the details on this bag are golden, and sometimes I'm fine with mixing gold and silver together, but in this case I think it would not have made a lot of sense to do so. She also got this little cute pink scrunchie. I think originally it is a color for one of the Barbie pets, but I simply kept it as accessory for Barbie. She also got this jean skirt so she can put her hands in her pockets, and also some pink socks and Mini Brand's Fashion shoes. The only real jewelry she's wearing is her silver necklace. And the last girl for today is the doll with the pretty goddess face. She got this Barbie t-shirt with cat print on, together with this purple and blue checkered skirt, plus belt and a crossbody worn fanny pack. As jewelry, she got these silver bangles that came together with the pink Premier Odile doll. Her shoes are simple black plastic boots, but I think they go pretty good together with the rest of the look. And here you have them all together in a turnaround, so that you can see how they look all together in detail. And here you have them all together side by side, and of course the white hip girl still does have the mini color reveal girl in her hand, so let's also unbox or untube her to see what is inside. Here's also the code for this package, and now let's see which doll is actually inside of the tube. I'm pretty much tempted to get a few of these color reveal versions for not opening them, because you cannot really wrap the plastic again around it, but on the other side, to have them inside of the package all the time without being able to see them is also not so nice, so I don't know. Of course, it is not a mini-me. That is not the color reveal series that you can get with the Barbie Land dolls at the moment, but still, I do like it. I think these mini dolls are quite cute. So, this is again the end of the video. It was a long video. I hope you had some fun with it, and I also hope that I could help some of you to find the doll that you would like to get from this series. So guys, thank you so much for your time. I wish you a great new week, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye!